Hey there, guys. I'm going to be playing a game that I like a lot. It's called Aeon's End. I'm going to be doing the Expedition mode. If you do not know how to play Aeon's End, then this is not exactly the place to be watching to see how to play. Um, okay, so I did some setup for the Expedition. Um, the What's in my barracks now, I have uh, all these cards basically, just the randomizer cards. Um, we have Summonite, gain 2, gain a Summonite from the supply and place it on top of an ally's discard pile. Vodium Spike, each ally may discard a card in order to gain a charge, also gain 2 Aether. Branching Radiate, gain 2 Aether, and if you have 2 or more prep spells, you gain an additional Aether. They're not very powerful gems, but everything else seems relatively low cost, so we should be able to make something work. Uh, Pain Conduit, you attach it to a breach and then discard it in order to deal 2 additional damage. Vim Dynamo, you suffer damage, someone draws 2 cards, or you just destroy it in order to gain 2 life and a charge. Tethered Darts is kind of interesting. You can deal 2 damage, and if it's cast from the 3 or 4 breach, you put it into an ally's hand. Reverberating Shock. It's deal 1 damage, gain 1 Aether that can only be used to gain cards. But it's Echo, so then you do it again immediately. So you effectively deal 2 damage and gain 2 Aether that can only be used to gain cards. Catalyst is kind of your range. If you have 2 life or less, you deal 7 damage, otherwise it's deal 2 damage. I don't want to be in that position. In Sphere of Inversion, you deal 7 damage. Any ally may destroy a card in order to gain 2 life. That's the only card destruction, sort of. This destroys itself, but it's the only card destruction, so that's not really the strategy we're going to be looking at, I don't think. It's too expensive to really get effective use out of, I believe. We're probably looking more at tethered darts and reverberating shock for early game damage. Um, and then we have branching radite, Vodium Spike, that are probably our most reliable sources of income. Pain Conduit might be the best way to deal damage, honestly, which is kind of sad to say. I haven't yet picked a nemesis. By the way, these are the 4 mages I drew for the expedition. I've chosen to use Zana and Brahma because they kind of rhyme. It's a slant rhyme. No, because Zana I've played with before, and she's a pretty good damage dealer, and Brahma has some healing. Any player gains 4 life. I'm playing 2-handed solo, so any amount of life that's I can gain back is going to be very, very important. Um, in addition, she's actually pretty good at dealing damage too. On turn 2, I can even open up this breach altogether and see where we go from there. These 2 looked alright. Olgamore seemed a little bit dangerous to use in 2-handed because he essentially sacrifices his own life value to gain more Aether. And Sahala seemed like a damage dealer that I just didn't need. I feel like Zana is going to do just fine as a damage dealer. So each mage told you this isn't going to be a tutorial of the whole game, but each mage is uh, essentially unique in 3 different ways. First is the setup of their breaches. Sana has 3 breaches, but one of them is really close to opening here. Brahma has 4 breaches, but they're a little further away from opening. So Zana also has this unique card that deals the damage and casts a prep spell without discarding it. Versus Brahma's Buried Light here. It deals the damage and gains an Aether. And their special ability, very straightforward. She just heals Gravehold for 7 life. She heals a player for 4 life. We're going to draw our random tier 1. Let's see, what have we got? Okay. We got the Spawning Horror from Chapter 3 of the Legacy. So we're basically ready to play now. Well, hold on. It starts with 4 life. I'm going to go ahead and lock it there. This minion can never have less than 1 life, and it has no maximum life. This is a pod deck. Yeah. Essentially, the unleash ability for the Spawning Horror is this gains 3 life, and at the end of the Nemesis phase, if this thing ever has 11 life or more, it essentially spends 10 life in order to spawn a pod. If all 7 pods are ever in play, then the Spawning Horror completes its metamorphosis and the players lose. I'm actually not very good at this game. I have not played with most of these mages, and I've not played against most of these nemesis. So I'm actually going to be playing this on easy beginner difficulty, which means the nemesis gets 10 less HP, 10 fewer hit points. We get 2 more hit points each, and 5 more hit points for the Gravehold. We are now ready to play. I do just instinctively shuffle things. I gotta watch out because one of the major mechanics of this game is that it's a standard deck builder, but when you go to draw, you don't shuffle your discard pile like a regular deck builder. You instead flip the discard pile over. So like I said, I've played a few games of this, not enough to, play all the mages, know the ins and outs of everything. In fact, yeah, of the cards here, I've only played with Summonite and Branching Radite before. So this is going to be a little interesting. So let's jump right in. Okay, the Nemesis starts strong with her first turn. We got Unearth. If there are no pods in play, Breeding Chamber gains 5 life, otherwise Gravehold suffers 4 damage. Okay, so the Breeding Chamber just gets 5 life. That's all that happens for that Nemesis phase. Next, player 1 goes. It's Zana. The first thing we're going to do is gain 4 Aether by playing these 4 crystals, and immediately spin that 4 Aether to open this. And then I'm going to play that there. Yeah. And we'll discard all these cards over here. Okay. And that's Zana's first turn. Our second turn over here, I've actually been struggling to decide what to do with Brahma, because it makes more sense, given the composition, that Brahma would focus a little bit more on healing and resource generation. So that being said, I'm going to prep that there for sure. And I'm trying to decide between Vim Dynamo. Reverberating Shock might be a pretty good. Yeah. Let's get Reverberating Shock. And basically, it's this, but you do it twice. I can't use it to focus or open breaches or gain charges, but other than that, it's essentially the same card, but twice. Okay. If you catch me doing anything wrong, be sure to let me know. I am not a professional player here, and if you have any advice, then please, really, be sure to let me know. Let's see. I can look at my discard at any time. That is going to be the hand that I'm picking up. So I might turn 3 open this breach. Okay, so I'm going to cast that. That's going to do 1 damage. We'll just keep the breeding chamber in check a little, I guess. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Aether, with which I'm going to focus that, which lets me play a Spark there. And before I draw, I just kind of want to see, okay. We draw 4 more there, okay. And what I was looking for is what's my second hand going to be? And now I know it's going to be, for sure, 3 crystals, guiding light or whatever Brahma's special card is, plus whatever is first in my discard pile, probably this Spark, because, yeah, unless something else happens, basically. Okay, we're back to this. We deal 1 damage with that. It's just, I'm going to hit the brooding chamber again, for whatever reason, really. Oh, excuse me, we deal 2 damage because this breach deals 1 extra damage when we cast off of it. Prep that Spark there. And for 4, let's see, we have some options here. I kind of like Reverberating Shock for this breach here, because this deal 1 damage actually goes twice, essentially. This plus 1 damage affects both instances. So, yeah. Let's see what our next hand is looking like. Okay. Nemesis. Draw a card from the pod deck and place it into play. Set that minion's life to 2. Don't affect shield tokens. Okay. Acidic Pod. The persistent effect is the player with the fewest open breaches suffers 2 damage, so I really don't want that to happen. Fewest open breaches is currently a tie, so I can decide who that happens to if I like. Okay, good. Now it's going to be Zana because, let's see, I'm going to spend 2 sparks to totally knock you out. So now we don't have to worry about that at all. Yes, we're going to open this with the 4 mana in hand and prep Reverberating Shock. Yeah, I wanted to say Reverberating Echo for some reason. It's because Echo is right there on the card. Okay. I don't know what we are going to do with Brahma next. We'll see. Okay, so Nemesis turn. Okay, this is a power card. It gains 3 power tokens. And then every turn, one of these power tokens goes away. And once they're all gone, we do whatever it says down here. I can also spend 6 to get rid of it totally. I believe that if I can't do this, then I have to do the bottom one. So, we'll see. Nemesis isn't doing much to us so far. Oh, here we go. So, 1 power token gone. Labyrinth Wisp. Any player discards a prep spell, or any player loses a charge. I don't like either of those, but at least we know we got a few turns before the Nemesis goes again. Okay, I like the idea of sparking for 2 against the Labyrinth Wisp. But there's also something to be said for focusing this twice, like not casting at all, and then just prepping this so that I can use this spark twice. Yeah, we'll go for that. That might have been a better choice. Okay. That's fine. I'm going to cast one of your prep spells without discarding it. This one. And it has +1 damage, so deals 2 damage. And then we're going to cast it, +1 damage, 2 damage. Okay. Yeah, prep that there. With 4, again, I might just open this. I think I'm going to open it. I like that. Okay. So now I actually have the choice of whether or not to use this. From this breach. Okay. Meanwhile, over here, reverberating echo, or reverberating shock, excuse me, I can't get that right. Deals 1 damage twice, so 1, 2. Normally I couldn't split up something like that, but since it's echo, they're 2 separate instances of damage, so I can split it across 2. And then I gain 2 Aether that can only be used to gain cards. So I essentially have 5 Aether in hand right now. If I want to gain a card. Or have 2 Aether for gaining a card. And okay, so hear me out on this. I have 2 Aether for gaining cards. I'm going to play another one here for 3. And pick up this Voidium Shard. Or Voidium Spike. And then with the other 2, I'm going to focus this Breach. I thought about getting the charge token, but I don't have quite enough generation for the charges to really mean anything yet, and I think having more breaches open will be more important in the early game here. Okay. Now's the time where, with my awful luck, I just draw 2 Nemesis cards in a row. Okay, we got it. Honestly, this might be the time that I want 2 Nemesis cards to be drawn twice in a row, so I'm not terribly worried. If I cast that, then I effectively have 5, which isn't enough to really do anything with. I could do the same sort of thing where I focus and then, but I could also just open it with what I have in my hand. Okay, so I'm only casting this at the breed chamber for 1, I guess. Prep that. And with 4, I'm going to just flip that over, basically. Focus it twice, or just, yeah. Cool. I like what I'm seeing there. Nemesis. Tick tock, tick tock. Okay, we got another power card. Unleash twice. That will add 6 life to the breeding chamber. We'll be fine unless... Oh, but this one will go first, so... Okay, that's not a big deal. There's something to be said for just leaving this here and, like, quadra casting it. Casting it 4 times, basically. So I'm going to leave that there. Prep this. I have 4. I could pick up another one of these. Could pick up branching radite as well. Well, let's think through this. Okay, I have 5 cards here. And then My next hand after that is going to be the 4 of these plus this. No, it'll be whatever I buy plus the 4 of these. Yeah, that's what it'll be. So what do I want to go with this for 4? I'm a little afraid of using Vim Dynamo, to be honest. Dynamo, I don't know. I'm enjoying the mileage I'm getting out of reverberating shock, but at some point I've got to start. Yeah. What's in here, do we think? It's 4 crystals and a spark, isn't it? Reverberating shock. Let's go. Okay. Spent those 4. Hope I was right. Yeah, 4 crystals and a spark. Next, the Nemesis goes. Okay. Get 5 life to the breeding chamber, I think. Because we can't do the other one. Remove a power token. Merciless Titan. Persistent. The persistent effect is any player suffers 1 damage. Ooh. If the Nemesis tier is 2 or higher, that player suffers 2 additional damage. So this thing almost evolves with Nemesis tier. We're only tier 1 right now. Interesting. That's an interesting concept. Okay. Like I said, I haven't seen a lot of these cards yet. So now player 2 goes, and then player 1's going to go. I should probably deal with that. Don't you think? I haven't actually taken any damage yet. Feel pretty okay with that. But player damage is the worst right now. Okay, I'll plink it for 2. Doop doop. And then we'll prep that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to discard a card so you can gain a charge. Because why not, basically. Because it's still kind of early and you kind of need the Ranching Radite is what I would answer. So I'm not going to do that, actually. So with 6, you could pick up Catalyst. It's not any better than Reverberating Shock. I would argue that it's worse. We could pick up 2 Pain Conduits, couldn't we? That has some interesting synergies with this, actually. Let's go. Let's go, Brahma. So let's see. We got 5 there, 4. So whatever's in here. Okay, throw a crystal there. Okay. Next is player 1, Zana. So I'll do this to do 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I get 2 that can be used to gain cards. Shoot. And then I cast it for 4 more damage, split into 2 groups of 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And that gives me 4 total Aether there to be used to gain cards. This is an interesting situation. Hold on, let me undo this really quick. Or extra Aether just to gain cards. I still don't have a darn. I should have. Oh well. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but I didn't. Okay. And that's what I'm gonna do for now. Is he took some, yeah, he took some plink damage over here. That's right. Okay, and I dealt the 2 damage there already. Pop that. I have 8 mana for cards, 8 Aether for cards if I want cards. Something to be said for just getting 2 of these. Hold on. What would that hand look like? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 2 of those, 3, 4, 5. That'd be a 5 mana hand plus Eternal Ember, Reverberating Shock. I don't know if that's worth it, but it seems pretty good. And then my next hand is looking pretty crummy with like probably 4 crystals and a spark after that. We'll do it. Yeah. I think I did that math wrong, but... Oh shoot, I did. No, we're fine. Never mind. I don't know what I'm doing. He's got 2 prop spells. And what happens if unleashed twice? Well, if we can prevent it. Why not? Okay, so I'm not going to cast that. I'm going to prep this, and then discard 2 prep spells. Yeah. To discard this power card. And then I have 4 mana. What do I want to do with 4 Aether? Excuse me. I keep saying mana. We take another reverberating shock. Let's take a branching radite. Hold on. We preferred it in the other hand, huh? Yeah, okay. I think that's a mistake, but it's one I'm just gonna make. Player 1, we got a big spark, cast it, hit for 2. We finally hit the boss, guys. Prep that. We have 4 Aether. I'm pretty sure at the bottom of that are 3. Okay, we'll do that. I'm kind of impatient, by the way. I think I have 2 branching radite in each deck now, and that should be enough. I should cut myself off there, basically. I'm looking at my hand and I'm like, there's not enough power in my hand to do whatever. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Nemesis. Nothing. There are no pods in play. Breeding Chamber gains 8 life. Otherwise, any player suffers 4 damage. That's literally perfectly fine. So the end of the Nemesis phase is, well, I think technically, yeah, technically this happens first. Ooh, Spiked Pod. That's actually not much fun to deal with. But we deal so much multi-instance damage that it's probably better than much of the stuff we would have seen. So the way these shields work is if you hit a shield with some damage and it only removes 1 shield token, no matter how much damage you deal. If you hit it with a great big 10 damage spell or something, it just removes 1 shield token. And then the next shield token, and then you can finally start dealing damage to the actual minion. So if you can just deal blip blip, like with this, then you take out both shields at once and then can actually hit it from there. Two. So you see, I got some interesting options here. This Pain Conduit, I think, changed very well with Reverberating Shock. But I'm happy to not buff up this Reverberating Shock for the moment and let it hit this thing, because it seems like it would be a waste of time to buff it up and deal, what, 3 damage per hit, 4 damage per hit, excuse me, 4 damage per hit, and not hit the boss with it, basically. Also, and this has just occurred to me now, I don't know where this is discarded to after the fact. Anyway, what I know for sure is I'm going to prep that there and prep that there. I'm prepping this here instead of here. By the way, it really doesn't matter, except that I might want to save this Aether for another time, and until then I'd rather deal the extra damage. Okay. I'm going to assume that since it's attached to Zana's breach, when it becomes discarded, when it gets discarded, it's going to go into Zana's discard. That's less fun, but it is what it is. So in that case, is there something else I might want to do with it? Oh, that's an interesting idea. Okay, I'm going to attach it to breach 3 over here. It doesn't have to be an open breach, right? Yeah. And I put 2 of them there. Whatever. That's the end of my turn. Nemesis. Spike Pod. Any player suffers 2 damage. Been doing pretty well so far. I don't have any damage, so Zana's just going to take it. To discard 2 gems that cost 3 or more. Let's see, power 2. I can't read. Resolve the persistent effect of the pod with the most life 4 times, like 8 damage. Breeding Chamber gains 5 life. Any player suffers 2 damage. That's probably the one I'm going to go with. Okay. I'm going to do the double plink on these shields. You know what I should have done is just held those pain conduits. Oh well, too little too late. Prep these because it's always fun, and then I have 2 just for gaining cards. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 because there are 2 or more prepped spells. We're getting ourselves a Sphere of Inversion. Deals a bunch of damage. Yeah. Got some stuff going on. Definitely Brahma is going to be trying to get rid of some sparks. They don't really do anything for her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Sphere of Inversion goes with what? These 2? Yeah, all that. Sure. Okay. Your turn again. Well, definitely start with this and deal 4 damage. From there, I'm going to hit you with it. And then the next 4 damage from that is going to hit the Nemesis. We prep the spark because I don't really want to hold it. And then I have 5 to do something with. Like start opening this breach a little. Yeah, okay. Okay. Nemesis. Tick tock, tick tock. Spin 7 to the player with the lowest life suffers 5 damage. 5 damage is a lot. We'll see what we can do. So, hold on. Yeah, okay. We're gonna deal 3 damage that way. You know what? It makes me feel safer. And with this 4, discard that for a charge, why not? And with this 4, there are plenty of reasons why not, by the way. Just in this case, I'm planning to focus this breach anyway, so I only need 3. So with this 4, I want to focus that some, prep that there, and prep a spark. What's in there? Make that 4. Let's see what else happens here. Interesting. 2, it's your turn again. If we leave things there, then what can we do? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 7 to open it. Figures, right? Oh, duh. If I leave it there, then I have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'll leave it there. Open it. And then next turn we have a great big nuke ready to go off. Okay. That feels pretty good to me. Let's see. next. I thought I'd seen that already. Okay. Next, we launch a nuke. Okay, so let's see. How much damage? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I echo. How does this read? Any additional effect granted for casting a spell are added to both resolutions. Okay, so as I read that, I deal 6 twice. It's a total of 12. And then I have another 2 there. I mean, feels very tiny in comparison. Let's see. Then we prep this and this. We have 3 left. Do we want to buy anything? I don't think so. I think this is the part where we start making the transition over towards hitting this guy really hard. That being said, I'm not liking the looks of the last 3 cards. My goodness, I have short-term memory loss or something. I thought there were 3 more cards in the deck. Okay. Hit something for 2. Prep that. Focus that. Easy turn. Oh, I like seeing these together. Okay. I'm choosing the second one. 5 life to that. I have to choose it. Oh, excuse me. It goes there. Wasn't there another pod? Yeah. And any player suffers 2 damage. It's going to be you, Brahma. Sorry about that. Took that down. Humming Hive. Any player suffers 2 damage. That's really annoying. But to be honest, I'm getting the impression that I will be better off hitting the spawning horror as hard as I can, instead of trying to deal with minions at this point. So this is going to deal 4 damage. Okay, we're not even close to losing, by the way. Like, I'm actually shocked at how not close this is. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Which doesn't get me much. 3 charges. Card. Okay, let's just discard this as is. I mean, we don't have a choice, but, or rather, the choice wouldn't matter. Okay. Well, set that up. Set that up. Whatever. Honestly, Brahma's not going to get another turn unless something crazy happens, because I'm looking at 14 damage in my hand here. Although this is going to deal 14 damage too. I just know. Literally, it will take one turn to set this up, and then the next turn, Zana is going to finish it off. So Brahma's not going to get another turn. Any player suffers 2 damage. Unleash twice. Gravehold suffers 4 damage. Unleashes, yeah. Grave. Oh, excuse me. I take it back. That's a power, not an attack. Let's see. Deal 4 damage. Gives me 2. Actually, looking at 16 damage there, aren't I? Gives me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Get another Sphere of Inversion for no apparent reason, other than they're rather cool. So I just have to survive at least, at most, one more Nemesis phase. If this next card is player 1, then I win. Here we go. So, this is a Sphere of Inversion, deal 7, 8 damage. An ally may destroy a card. I'm going to choose not to. And then I'm going to cast that for another 8 damage, putting it at -6. We have defeated the spawning horror like it was nothing. I took a total of 6 damage altogether. I've never seen such a display of force, and I have no idea what caused it either. Reverberating shock is probably way better than I think it is, if I were to analyze that. Brahma's ability is pretty good, or her buried light is pretty good. I didn't even really use, like, I used Pain Conduit for an extra 8 damage in there, but like I said, I wasn't even close. I didn't even really need them, that extra 8 damage. He would have had 2 health left if I hadn't. Brahma's next turn would have finished him off, basically. Yeah, that was a stunning display of force against the poor spawning horror over there. Sphere of Inversion definitely gave us some much needed crunch against the boss. Obviously, I didn't need any card destruction. I didn't use any card destruction. The weakest part of this setup, I think, is that the gems are just kind of okay. Like, none of them got my blood pumping. You know, Branching Radite is meh. Summonite, I think, is just straight bad. Voidium Spike is probably actually pretty good if you have characters who focus more on their abilities. These characters didn't, basically. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this sort of video of me trying out. First off, this is kind of a testing video. I've never recorded a video before. I'm just trying out some software to try and, work through all the kinks that inevitably come with trying a new thing. Second off, I just wanted to play more Aeon's End. I played through the whole Legacy recently, and did not do very well. I mean, I beat the last mission, so there's that, but it was relatively close, I'll put it that way. Yeah, I'm going to continue this expedition and continue recording this expedition. I've already got some stuff that I gotta work on for this video, I guess. I've gotta, whatever, do some editing and learn how to do that. If you guys have any suggestions or tips or anything, especially about the gameplay or general YouTube editing tips, I would love to hear about it. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. And I will see you guys next time when I come back and defeat the next big monster thing. Alright, it has just occurred to me that there's plenty of stuff that I should probably do before officially ending the video. For example, at the end of the game, since I won, I get to find some treasure that the boss was supposedly guarding in some way, and I get to add some stuff to the barracks, which basically expands my resources. So for treasure, this is kind of cool. This gives you an extra unique starting card, essentially. And for this, I just literally add this to my set of stuff that I can put in the market. So for example, I've been complaining about these gems all this time. So Resonant Pearl, any ally may discard a Resonant Pearl in their hand and draw a card. If they do, you gain an extra 1. That's kind of bad. I think it's technically better than Summonite, but it's pretty bad. Consuming Void. Destroy up to 2 cards in hand. Deal 3 damage for each card destroyed this way. I think it's more consistent than Sphere of Inversion in terms of ramping up to it. Riddle Sphere, gain 1 charge, or lose 2 charges to gain 5. That seems pretty good. So in terms of what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to put Riddle Sphere there, replace Sphere of Inversion with Consuming Void, and replace... Maybe I won't replace Summonite. There might still be a place for that. But these go into my barracks where I can essentially just pull them out, pull everything out and look at them and be like, what sort of market do I think I want, you know? If you lose, however, you only get to pull 1 out of one of these. You don't get any treasure, unless you lose on higher difficulties. You can draw 1 treasure out of whatever. Or you can choose another mage to pull out and add to your barracks, which gives you more options. Especially with 2-handed, another mage is like, well, that's half my set, you know? Okay, so I just wanted to go over the treasure part of the expedition. Let's look at, that's probably going to be my setup for the market for next time, and I might go over it again then too. And let's look at this stuff. We have Reeves Raven Charge, shard, excuse me. Gain 1, discard a card for an extra 1. Lash's Quartz Shard, gain 1. Reveal the top card of the turn order deck. You may place that card in the bottom of the top of the turn order deck. If you reveal the player card, gain an additional 1. That seems pretty good. Zaxxas' Pyre. That seems pretty okay. Zana's Fleeting Ember. Cast one of your prep cards that cost 4 or less. Okay, now that's really tempting with our current kit. It's not quite as good as Zana's actual Eternal Ember. But being able to, again, double cast one of these, especially if we give it to Zana, she can triple cast. That's something else. Okay. Mazahydran's World Heart Shard. Gain 1 or gain 2. Ooh. Ooh, that's a really good support item. Okay. So these treasure cards also go in the barracks. And I'll come back to that. But I'm thinking I'm going to give Zana this Fleeting Ember, replace it with that Spark in her deck, and Brahma this World Heart Shard, and replace it with a Crystal in her deck. Either way, it's essentially at least as good as a Spark or a Crystal. So, okay. I just wanted to go over the treasure phase because that's kind of part of the strategy that, you know, isn't just setting things up and watching things play out, basically. Thank you guys for watching once again. Leave any helpful comments down in the comments section, and leave all sorts of unhelpful comments down in the comments section too, if you like. Bye.